Hi Tabora, shout out. Thank you for coming. Hello Yor, shout out. Thank you. Kumusta? Thank you so much Tabora. Thank you. How are you there? Thank you for sharing guys. Hope you're doing well. I see you are now busy in TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I have before TikTok, but I cannot open anymore. Something was my cell phone was not. I cannot open anymore. My old cell phone, and so that's the problem. It's a problem now that I don't have TikTok, and I also don't like TikTok. I don't know, but it's it's for me. I'm not in TikTok. How do you earn in TikTok? I don't know how it's work. Before I am earning there, but I did not continue anymore. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Hope you're doing well. You can drop your links, guys. You can drop your link. Only now I am live again because I was so busy. And now I have the I have time to have you can how do you do that? That is the question. How do you make that? How do you make that? Are you doing special things like sponsoring? Or this is the dog that I want. It's pretty cool. How do you do in TikTok that you're earning good? Thank you. O your meron ka na pong ano. Oh, kaya I need you like you want it. Really, through broadcasting? And who are giving money to you through broadcasting? Like now, are you who's supporting you? Who are they? But you must also continue this. Hi, your earlier bar shout out. Thank you.
It also reduces stress, lowers anxiety, and improves overall mental resilience. This means that by simply choosing to focus on gratitude,
focus and gratitude every morning, you must thank you every day.
You're actively training your mind for long-term happiness. Beyond the internal benefits, gratitude also impacts your relationships. When you appreciate the people in your life, you naturally treat them with more kindness, patience, and understanding. A simple thank you or an acknowledgement of their efforts strengthens connections, creating a ripple effect of positivity. When you start your day with gratitude, you carry that energy into your interactions.
That's why I'm thankful for those
making you not just happier, but also more compassionate and emotionally present. It's easy to fall into the habit of focusing on what's missing. The mind often defaults to what needs fixing, what's come when they reach a certain goal, when they have more money, when they find the perfect relationship, or when they achieve something significant. But life doesn't work that way. If happiness is always tied to a future event, it remains just out of reach. Perfection is an illusion, and those who chase it often find themselves stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction, never quite feeling like they even in the middle of uncertainty, struggle, and change. It's not about ignoring difficulties or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about embracing life as it is, while still allowing yourself to experience happiness in the present moment. When people believe that happiness is something that will arrive after all their problems are solved, they unknowingly push joy away. There will always be something that isn't perfect, something that could be better, something that isn't exactly the way they imagined it. If happiness depends on perfection, then true happiness will never come. Joy is not found in waiting for ideal conditions. It's created by how you respond to what's in front of you. It's about choosing to see beauty in imperfection, to find meaning in struggle, and to embrace the moments of laughter, love, and connection that exist even on difficult days. People who are truly joyful are not the ones who have perfect lives. They are the ones who have learned to find joy despite the imperfections. They don't let small inconveniences steal their peace. They don't dwell on what's missing, but instead appreciate what's present. They don't let the fear of failure keep them from trying new things, because they know that life is about progress, not perfection. Perfectionism is one of the biggest barriers to happiness. It creates unrealistic expectations and sets people up for disappointment. It makes people believe that they have to look a certain way, achieve certain things, or meet certain standards before they can feel good about themselves. This constant striving for perfection leads to stress, anxiety, and a feeling of never being enough. When someone is focused on making everything perfect, they miss out on the joy of simply living. They hesitate to take risks, fearing that if things don't go exactly as planned, they have failed. They hold back from celebrating small wins because they think they're not big enough. They compare themselves to others and feel like they're always falling short. Choosing joy over perfection means letting go of the need for everything to be flawless. It means understanding that mistakes and setbacks are part of life and that they don't define a person's worth. It's about celebrating progress, rather than waiting for perfection. It's about allowing yourself to enjoy life even when everything isn't exactly the way you want it to be. True joy comes from appreciating the journey, not just the destination. It comes from embracing the present moment rather than waiting for some future moment to bring happiness. People often delay happiness by telling themselves that they will be happy when they reach a certain milestone. They think, I'll be happy when I get that promotion, or I'll be happy when I find the right person, or I'll be happy when I have more money. But what happens when they reach that goal? Often they find that the happiness they expected is short-lived, and soon they are chasing the next thing, believing that happiness is still somewhere ahead of them. This cycle continues endlessly, keeping joy always out of reach. The truth is, joy is not found in external achievements. It is found in the ability to appreciate what exists right now. The most joyful people understand that happiness is not a reward for achieving perfection, but a decision to embrace life as it is. They understand that every moment, even the imperfect ones, holds something valuable. They laugh at mistakes instead of letting them define them. They celebrate small victories instead of waiting for some grand success. They allow themselves to enjoy life's simple pleasures, a deep conversation, a walk outside, a moment of quiet gratitude. They don't wait for life to be perfect before they allow themselves to be happy, because they know that happiness isn't something to wait for, it's something to create. The energy that surrounds you has a profound effect on your happiness, your mindset, and your overall well-being. Every single person you interact with, every conversation you engage in, and every environment you expose yourself to carries energy. Some energies uplift you, motivate you, and make you feel alive, while others drain you, discourage you, and leave you feeling heavy. Happiness is not just about what you do for yourself, it is also about who you allow into your space. The people around you, the media you consume, and the environments you immerse yourself in all contribute to the way you feel, think, and behave. Some people radiate positivity. They bring light into a room, they inspire, they encourage, and they remind you of your potential. When you spend time with them, you feel lighter, more hopeful, and more capable. These are the people who celebrate your victories, who lift you up when you are down, and who push you to grow. They don't have to be perfect, but they have a mindset that nurtures positivity rather than negativity. Being around these kinds of people naturally raises your own energy, making it easier to maintain happiness, even in challenging times. On the other hand, there are people whose presence feels heavy. They complain more than they appreciate. They find problems in every solution, and they bring a sense of negativity into every space they enter. They may not even realize it, but their energy affects those around them. When you are constantly surrounded by people who focus on what's wrong, who doubt your dreams, or who bring drama and stress into your life, it starts to wear you down. Even the most optimistic person can feel their happiness fade when they're constantly in the presence of negativity. It is not about blaming others for your emotions, but about recognizing how their energy influences your own. Happiness is not just an internal choice. It is also a product of what you allow into your life. If you want to protect your happiness, you have to be intentional about the company you keep. This does not mean cutting people off without reason, but it does mean setting boundaries. It means choosing to spend more time with people who uplift you and less time with those who drain you. It means recognizing when certain relationships are no longer serving your well-being. Sometimes this means letting go of relationships that have become toxic, even if they have been a part of your life for a long time. Other times it simply means limiting your exposure to negativity, whether that comes from people, social media, or even the news. Beyond the people in your life, the information you consume also plays a role in shaping your energy. The media you watch, the books you read, and the conversations you engage in all influence your thoughts and emotion. If you constantly expose yourself to negativity, whether it's through the news, social media, or toxic conversations, it will start to shape your mindset. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with uplifting content, inspiring stories, and positive conversations, you create an environment that supports happiness. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist, but about being mindful of what you allow into your mental and emotional space. Your environment also plays a significant role in the energy you absorb. The spaces you spend time in, the way your surroundings feel, and even the organization of your home or workspace can impact your mood. Clutter, chaos, and disorganization can create stress and make it harder to feel at peace. On the other hand, creating an environment that feels clean, welcoming, and inspiring can elevate your mood and make it easier to feel happy. Something as simple as adding plants, playing music that lifts your spirit, or decorating with colors that bring you joy can shift the energy of a space. When you surround yourself with positive energy, you create a foundation for happiness that is more stable and sustainable. It becomes easier to maintain a positive mindset when you are not constantly battling negativity from your surrounding. You begin to attract more positivity into your life because the energy you put out is the energy you receive. The more you cultivate an environment of positivity, the more natural happiness becomes. Happiness is often thought of as something that comes from personal success, material wealth, or individual achievements. But the truth is, the greatest source of fulfillment comes from what you give rather than what you receive. People spend so much time focused on what they can gain, what they can accomplish, and what they can accumulate, that they sometimes forget that true joy is found in contribution. There is something deeply fulfilling about knowing that your presence, your actions, or even your words have made a difference in someone else's life. Giving does not have to be grand or extravagant. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness have the most significant impact. There is a shift that happens when you move from a mindset of getting to a mindset of giving. When life is lived solely in pursuit of personal gain, there is often a lingering sense of emptiness, a feeling that no matter how much is acquired, something is still missing. But when you focus on how you can give, how you can serve, uplift, and support others, you tap into a deeper sense of purpose. There is a unique kind of happiness that comes from seeing someone else smile because of something you did, from knowing that your kindness made someone's day just a little bit better. It is not about expecting anything in return, but about recognizing that joy multiplies when it is shared. Giving more than you take does not mean neglecting yourself or constantly sacrificing your own well-being. It means developing a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. People who operate from a scarcity mindset believe that life is a competition, that success is limited, and that they must take as much as they can before someone else does. But those who operate from an abundance mindset understand that there is enough love, enough success, and enough joy to go around. They know that lifting others up does not diminish their own success, that kindness does not weaken them, and that generosity does not leave them empty. Acts of giving do not always have to be financial. In fact, some of the most meaningful ways to give require no money at all. A listening ear to someone who is struggling, a few words of encouragement to a friend who feels lost, a genuine compliment to a stranger. These are all forms of giving that can transform someone's day. Time is one of the most valuable things a person can give because it is something that can never be reclaimed. Taking the time to help, to listen, or to simply be present for someone is a gift that often means more than anything material. One of the most beautiful things about giving is that it not only brings happiness to others, but also enriches the giver's life. Scientific studies have shown that acts of kindness and generosity activate the brain's reward centers, releasing dopamine and serotonin, the same chemicals associated with happiness and well-being. Giving creates a sense of connection, reduces stress, and increases overall life satisfaction. It shifts the focus away from personal struggles and onto something bigger, creating a sense of fulfillment that material things can never provide. There is something powerful about the energy that giving creates. When a person gives without expecting anything in return, they create a ripple effect. A simple act of kindness can inspire someone else to do the same, creating a chain reaction of positivity that extends far beyond what can be seen. A moment of generosity can change someone's perspective, restore their faith in humanity, or give them the hope they need to keep going. Every act of giving, no matter how small, has the potential to make a difference in ways that may never be fully known. Living a life that prioritizes giving over taking does not mean that a person never receives. In fact, those who give freely often find that life gives back to them in unexpected ways. Opportunities arise, relationships deepen, and a sense of peace settles in. There is a different kind of richness that comes from generosity, a richness that cannot be measured in numbers, but in the depth of experiences, the strength of connection, and the fulfillment that comes from knowing that one's presence in the world is a place. Happiness is often thought of as something that exists in the future, something to be achieved when everything falls into place. People say, I'll be happy when I get that job, or I'll be happy when I reach my goals, always placing joy somewhere ahead of them instead of allowing themselves to experience it right now. But true happiness is never found in the future. It is found in the ability to embrace life as it is, rather than waiting for something else to make it feel complete. The present moment is the only place where life actually happens. Yet so many people miss it because their minds are too focused on the past or the future. Living in the present means letting go of the regrets that keep pulling you backward and the worries that keep dragging you. It means understanding that no matter how much you think about the past, you cannot change it, and no matter how much you stress about the future, you cannot control it. The only thing that truly belongs to you is the moment you are in right now. Learning allows you to experience the depth of life in ways that many people overlook. Instead of rushing through each day, constantly thinking about what's next, you begin to slow down and appreciate what is in front of you. The warmth of the sun on you, the taste of a meal, the sound of music, all now, but they can only bring joy if you are paying attention to them. One of the biggest barriers to living in the present is the tendency to dwell on the past. People carry their mistakes, their pain, and their disappointments with them, allowing those experiences to define their present. They replay old conversations, regret missed opportunities, and wish they had done things differently. But holding on to the past only steals the joy of the present. The past cannot be rewritten, but it also does not have to dictate the future. Every new moment is a chance to start fresh, to shift perspectives, and to choose happiness, regardless of what has happened before. The past is a lesson, not a prison. At the same time, worrying about the future prevents people from experiencing happiness in the present. Fear of what might happen, anxiety about what could go wrong, and the constant pressure to plan for every possibility take up so much mental space that little room is left for enjoying the now. It is important to prepare for the future, to have goals and ambitions, but it is just as important to not let those things consume the present. The future is unknown, and no amount of worry will change that. But what is certain is that the present moment is here, and it is the only time that can be fully lived. Being present also means being fully engaged in the moments that matter. So often, people are physically present, but mentally elsewhere. They are at dinner with loved ones, but scrolling through their phones. Sitting in a beautiful place, but thinking about work. Having a conversation, but not really listening. When attention is divided, experiences lose their depth. A person who is not fully present misses out on the richness of life because they are not truly absorbing it. When you practice presence, you give your full attention to the people you are with, the things you are doing, and the experiences unfolding around you. You become more connected, more aware, and more alive. Gratitude plays a significant role in living in the present. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, you naturally become more present. Gratitude anchors you to the moment because it shifts your attention to what is good right now. It reminds you that happiness is not found in what you are chasing, but in what is already here. The more you cultivate gratitude, the more you train your mind to stay in the present rather than always looking for something else to make you happy. Happiness is not in the next achievement, the next milestone, or the next phase of life. It is in the moments happening right now. Laughter shared with a friend, in the warmth of a hug, in the quiet moments of reflection. It is in being fully present, fully aware, and fully engaged in the life that is unfolding in front of you. The present moment is where joy lives, and the more you learn to embrace it, the more happiness becomes a natural part of your everyday life. Self-love is the foundation of happiness. It is the way you speak to yourself, the way you treat yourself, and the way you allow yourself to exist in the world. So many people look for happiness in external validation, in the approval of others, in achievements, or in relationships, but true happiness starts within. If you do not love yourself, nothing outside of you will ever be enough to fill that space. You can accomplish great things, receive endless praise, and be surrounded by people, yet still feel empty if you have not built a solid relationship with yourself. Loving yourself is not about arrogance or selfishness. It is about recognizing your worth and treating yourself with the same respect that you extend to others. Too often, worst critics, constantly judging themselves for not being enough, for not doing enough, for not looking a certain way or achieving certain things. They say things to themselves that they would never say to a loved one, holding themselves to impossible standards and punishing themselves for every flaw. But happiness cannot grow in a space filled with self-criticism. When you are constantly tearing yourself down, you are not creating an environment where joy can flourish. Self-love is about giving yourself permission to be human. It is about embracing your flaws, your mistakes, and your imperfections, knowing that they do not define you. It is about understanding that growth is a process and that you do not have to have everything figured out to be worthy of love and happiness. The way you talk to yourself matters. If your inner dialogue is filled with negativity, criticism, it will affect the way you feel about yourself and the life. But when you shift that dialogue, when you begin speaking to yourself with compassion, encouragement, and kindness, you create an inner space where happiness can thrive. Taking care of yourself is an act of self-love. It is not just about eating well, exercising, or getting enough rest, although things are important. It is also about setting boundaries, allowing yourself to rest when you need it, and prioritizing your mental and emotional well-being. Many people feel guilty for taking time for themselves, believing that they always have to be doing something productive or taking care of others. But constantly putting yourself last only leads to exhaustion, resentment, and unhappiness. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you take care of yourself, you are not just benefiting yourself, you are also becoming a better version of yourself for the people around you. Self-love also means not seeking validation from others to feel worthy. Many people base their self-worth on how others see them, on how many compliments they receive, how much attention they get, or how much approval they feel from those around them. But this kind of validation is temporary. If your happiness depends on the opinions of others, you will always be chasing it because external validation is not consistent. One day people may praise you and the next day they may criticize you. One day they may notice you and the next day they may not. If your sense of self is tied to that, your happiness will always be unstable. True self-love means knowing your worth regardless of what others think. It means validating yourself instead of waiting for the world to do it for you. Forgiving yourself is a crucial part of self-love. Everyone makes mistakes, everyone has moments they wish they could change, and everyone has fallen short in some way. Holding on to guilt, shame, or regret only weighs you down. Happiness cannot coexist with self-punishment. Learning to forgive yourself means accepting that you are human, that you are growing, and that your mistakes do not define your future. It means recognizing the lesson in every experience and allowing yourself to move forward with wisdom rather than with self-blame. Surrounding yourself with love is also part of self-love. The people you allow into your life should uplift you, respect you, and appreciate you for who you are. If you are constantly around people who bring you down, who make you feel unworthy, or who do not support your growth, it will be difficult to maintain a sense of self-love. Choosing relationships that align with your happiness is not selfish. It is necessary. You deserve valued, where you feel safe, where you are encouraged to be the best version of yourself. Loving yourself is a daily practice. It is not something that happens overnight, and it is not something that is perfected. It is a commitment to choosing yourself, to being kind to yourself, and to allowing yourself to experience joy without feeling like you have to earn it. It is about knowing that you are enough just as you are, and that you are deserving of happiness, not because of what you have done or what you will do, but simply because you exist. Happiness is not something to be chased. It is something to be cultivated, nurtured, and embraced in the present moment. It is found in the way you protect your energy, the way you give more than you take, and the way you fully engage with life as it unfolds. It is in the relationships you build, the gratitude you practice, and most importantly, the love you show yourself. True happiness is not about external circumstances, achievements, or the approval of others. It is about the choices you make every single day. It is about choosing to be present instead of waiting for a perfect future, choosing to focus on what is good rather than what is missing, and choosing to create an environment that nourishes your joy. When you commit to living with intention, to surrounding yourself with positive energy, to giving without expectation, and to loving yourself unconditionally, happiness becomes a natural part of who you are. It is not a destination, it is a way of being.
Happiness is a way of being. So, maging masaya kung ano man ang meron ka ngayon para lalo kang blessed. Hindi kung kailan meron na sa'yo ang gusto mong makuha ay masaya. Maging masaya ka na ngayon kahit wala pa yung gusto mo. Ganon. Happiness start from within. Happiness start from you, not from others. Love yourself. Ganon. Hi! Shout out Lorcan.
Das Jahr 2025. Seid ihr euch eigentlich bewusst, dass wir schon das erste...
Anong gusto mong marinig? Hi, Sis Aries. May topic ka about loyalty and respect. Meron po. Gusto ko yung na-discuss about self-love. Ayan. Self-love ay nagmumula sa atin. Kung mahal natin ang sarili natin, syempre yung mga tao na nakapalibot sa atin, na gusto tayo, ay makakakuha ka rin ng pagmamahal sa kanila. Doon tayo sa mga tao na gusto tayo, ganun. Huwag natin ipilit yung sarili natin sa mga ayaw sa atin. It's better to be truth than fake. Kasi yung iba, marami yung ibang tao na na pagkaharap, gustong-gusto ka nila. Pero pag nakatalikod ka na, wala na. Kapag meron kang kapag may kaibigan kang, pag may kaibigan kang, ang ginagawa niya puro paninira about dun kaibigan niya, it's time to exit. Hindi naman huwag mong biglain na umexit ka agad kasi kaibigan mo yan Pero alam mo, in reality, kapag tumagal-tagal na, ikaw naman ang ikikwento niya sa iba. Kasi kung ginagawa niya nga sa kaibigan niya, 'di ba? Ginagawa niya nga sa kaibigan niya na ikukwento niya sa iyo yung mga lihim nila, mga sekreto nila, yung mga problema nila. Sooner or later, ikaw na yung ikikwento niya. Sooner or later, ikaw na rin ang iba-backstab mo niya. Kasi yun ang yun ang ugali niya. Kaya, nung may nakilala ko dati na ganun, ay naku, Diyos ko, grabe. Sabi ko, paano niya kaya nasisikmura ang makikisalamuha sa kanila? Pagkatapos niya makisalamuha, ganito ang ikukwento niya sa kanila. Kaya ako naman kasi, pag kinwentuhan mo ako, hindi na yan kakalat sa iba. Kumbaga, pag ikaw kinwentuhan mo ako ng pangit about sa iba, baka huling na natin yun, huling pag-mimit na natin. Mimit man kita siguro, personal, yung lang, kasi 'di ba, nakakaano naman yung pag-uusapan mo yung ibang tao, pinagkatiwalaan, kinikwenta ka nila, pinagkatiwalaan nila yung kwento ng buhay nila sa'yo. Gossip. Actually, it is a hypocrisy to the highest level. True, you'll ended up being used and abused. Mahirap din kasi pag mabait ka, maraming abuse sa kabaitan mo. Kaya, learn how to say no. That is the most important thing. Kasi okay lang na mabait ka nga, pero masama naman sa loob mo. Yung yung pleasing ba, mahilig ka to please everybody else, everyone else, or para lang masabi na mabait ka, yes ka ng yes. Pero at the other side of your personality naman is, ikaw nahihirapan. So, for me, it's better to say no pag hindi bukal, di ba? Kailangan natin kasi maging totoo sa sarili kasi at the end of the day, tayo din na mahihirapan, tayo din nagsasuffer. Diba? Natutunan ko lang yun nung alam mo nga, syempre, sa realidad ng buhay, pag dadagdagan ang edad, mas maraming experience na nararanasan sa mundo ng katauhan. Minsan sobrang kabaitan mo, naaabuso mo. Masarap din minsan ang mag-say no, 'di ba? Madam Aris. Yung buhay natin dito is hiram lang. Matuto na lang tayong magpatawad, ganun. Pero syempre, pag nagpatawad ka, wag mo nang magpaubuso ulit. Kumbaga aral. mga ano, ayan. Ang self-love kasi, ang self-love naman is ano, yung ano, give time to relax yourself. Baka naman kasi sobrang pagmamahal mo na sa ibang tao. Binigay mo sa kanila lahat ng energy mo. Kumusta ka naman? Dapat, parang cellphone lang din yun eh. Dapat marunong kang mag-charge. I-charge mo ang sarili mo. Paano? Ayan, mag-relax. Ano ba naman ang minsang ano, wellness? Ewan ko, ginagawa ko talaga yun. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Nag-ano ako ng time for myself. Because the more you love yourself, the more you extend love to others. Kapag mahal mo sarili mo, mahal mo si God, then you also send more love to others. Ayan, minsan-minsan lang live, sobrang busy kasi nag-travel. And after travel, it's coming back again. It's coming back. Prepare ako ng salad. Thank you for staying. God bless. Ingat. Thank you so much, your Oliva. Madam Aris, salamat. Watching ko po yung video mo, your Oliva. Salamat ha.
When you have to make a
Ito
decision,
maganda.
either to continue living for the approval of others or to shift your energy inward and build yourself into something unstoppable. The truth is, most people are too busy watching others, comparing themselves, or seeking validation. But the moment you break free from that cycle and focus entirely on yourself, you will shock everyone around you. There comes a point in life when you must decide whether to keep seeking approval or to break free and build yourself into something unstoppable. Most people spend their lives worrying about what others think, constantly trying to fit in and hoping to be accepted. But the truth is, the moment you stop living for the expectations of others and start focusing entirely on yourself, everything changes. Your energy shifts, your mindset transforms, and without even trying, you begin to shock everyone around you. The reason most people never reach their full potential is simple. They are too distracted. They are caught up in the opinions of others, weighed down by the expectations placed upon them, and constantly looking around instead of looking within. But true success, real transformation, happens only when you shift your focus inward. You have to make the decision to prioritize yourself, your growth, your learning, and your progress. Because at the end of the day, nobody is going to live your life for you. Nobody else is responsible for making you successful. It's up to you. Most people are judged based on their past, not their potential. People will look at you and assume that who you were yesterday is all you can ever be. They see your past mistakes, your past failures, and they assume that's where your story ends. But they don't see what's inside you. They don't see the untapped potential, the strength, the discipline, and the determination that lies within. That's why you have to stop living for their approval. Because if you keep trying to prove yourself to those who refuse to believe in you, you will only waste your energy. Instead, let your results speak. Let your growth be the response. Some people talk about success, but few are willing to commit to the process. Because success doesn't, it's not luck, it's not some magical moment where everything falls into place. Success is built in silence. It happens when no one is watching. It happens when you are disciplined enough to wake up early, to put in the extra effort, to keep going even when you don't feel like it. That's the difference between those who achieve great things and those who only dream about them. People will doubt you. That is guaranteed. They will question your abilities, mock your ambitions, and assume you will never make it. But here's the secret. Doubt is fuel. Every time someone tells you that you can't do something, let that be a reason to push even harder. Not to argue, not to seek validation, but to prove them wrong through your actions. The best way to silence the doubters is not with words, but with results. When they see your progress, when they witness your transformation, they won't have anything left to say. The biggest mistake you can make is spending too much time focusing on others instead of focusing on yourself. Too many people waste their energy comparing themselves to others, measuring their success based on someone else's journey, or feeling behind because they see someone else doing better. But here's what you need to understand. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday. The only thing that truly matters is whether you are growing, whether you are improving, whether you are becoming better every single day. Because when you focus on yourself, everything else falls into place. There will be a time when you have to embrace solitude. This is the phase where the real work happens. It's uncomfortable, it's lonely, and it's challenging. But it is necessary if you are constantly surrounded by distractions, constantly seeking approval, constantly caught up in unnecessary drama. You will never have the time or energy to build yourself. That's why the most successful people have a period of isolation, a time when they step away from the noise, cut off distractions, and dedicate themselves fully to growth. It's in these moments that your transformation begins. Many people think success comes in big, dramatic moments. But in reality, success is built through small, consistent actions. It's not about making one big move. It's about showing up every single day, even when no one is watching. It's about making better choices, developing stronger habits, and being disciplined enough to stay on track. The results don't come overnight, but if you stay committed, if you keep putting in the work, one day you will look back and realize that you have become a completely different person. And the best part, everyone who doubted you, everyone who underestimated you, will be shocked. When you focus on yourself, you become an example of what's possible. You don't just improve your own life, you inspire others to do the same. People will start asking, how did you do it? What changed? And the answer is simple. You stopped wasting time on things that didn't matter, and you put all your energy into becoming the best version of yourself. You stopped seeking validation, and instead you built confidence from within. You stopped watching others, and instead you focused on your own journey. So the question is, are you ready to shock the world? Are you ready to silence the doubts, ignore the distractions, and focus entirely on yourself? The moment you do, your life will never be the same. The choice is yours. Focus on yourself and watch how everything changes. Most people spend their lives trying to be noticed, trying to prove themselves, trying to get recognition from those who hardly even pay attention. They post about their plans before they execute. They announce their moves before they make them. And they seek validation before they even accomplish anything. Success doesn't come from making noise. It comes from working in silence. The most powerful transformations happen when no one is watching. The people who shock the world aren't the ones constantly talking about their goals. They are the ones quietly putting in the work, staying consistent, and allowing their results to speak for themselves. Think about the most successful people in any field. They don't waste time explaining their every move or try to convince others of their worth. Instead, they focus all their energy on becoming better, stronger, and more disciplined. And one day, without warning, they emerge transformed. While everyone else was talking, they were working. While others were distracted, they were building. And when they finally reveal what they've been working on, the world is left in shock. That is the power of silence. That is the power of letting your results do the talking. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that success comes from external validation. They believe that if they talk about their dreams enough, if they tell the world how hard they're working, if they constantly remind people of their ambitions, they will gain respect. But respect isn't given, it's earned. And it's not earned through words, it's earned through action. You don't need to tell people you're working hard. They will see it in your results. You don't need to explain why you're different. They will notice it in your discipline. The more you talk, the more energy you waste. And every ounce of energy spent on proving yourself to others is energy taken away from actually improving yourself. One of the most powerful things you can do is move in silence. While others are seeking attention, you should be focused on your craft. While they are trying to impress, you should be trying to improve. Because when you develop a habit of silent discipline, you remove all distractions. You stop worrying about opinions. You stop caring about immediate recognition, and instead you focus entirely on progress. That's when real growth happens. The world is full of people who make promises but never follow through. They start projects but never finish. They set goals but never take action. And because they announce their plans too soon, they feel satisfied before they even begin. But those who truly succeed know that the real work happens behind closed doors. They know that the discipline, the sacrifice, none of it needs an audience. They are not driven by the need for applause. They are driven by the desire to become the best version of themselves. Silence is powerful because it eliminates pressure. When you tell people your plans, you invite their opinions, their doubts, their criticisms, and sometimes that doubt can plant seeds of hesitation in your own mind. But when you keep your goals to yourself, when you operate in silence, you remove all external interference. You give yourself the freedom to experiment, to fail, to adjust, to grow, without the weight of other people's expectations. You become free to move at your own pace, to make decisions based on your own vision, and to create a future that is entirely yours. There's something incredibly powerful about surprising people with your success. When you quietly work on yourself, when you stay consistent without announcing it, when you focus entirely on progress without seeking recognition, people don't see it coming. One day they look at you and you're no longer the same person. You've grown stronger, you've become wiser, you've developed skills they never thought you could master. And by the time they realize what's happened, it's already too late to doubt you. The best way to gain respect is to stop trying to earn it and start proving it through results. If you want people to take you seriously, don't tell them why they should, show them. If you want to be recognized for your work, don't talk about how much effort you're putting in. Let the results speak for themselves. The people who make the biggest impact in this world are not the ones who talk about what they're going to do. They are the ones who actually do it. Every time you are tempted to prove yourself, remind yourself of this. Will be your voice. Your results will be your response. Instead of seeking validation, seek progress. Instead of announcing your next move, make it in silence. Because when you finally reveal what you've been building, no words will be necessary. The world will see the transformation, and they will be shocked. Most people go through life living for the opinions of others. They seek approval, they crave validation, and they want to be acknowledged for their efforts before they've even achieved anything. But the truth is, the moment you start focusing on yourself and stop seeking recognition, that's when real transformation happens. People waste so much time worrying about what others think, whether they are being noticed or if their work is being appreciated. They get caught up in a cycle of seeking external validation, which ultimately slows them down and keeps them from reaching their full potential. But when you shift your focus inward, when you stop worrying about impressing others and instead focus on becoming the best version of yourself, unlock a power that most people will never understand. There is something incredibly powerful about working in silence. When you stop broadcasting your every move, when you no longer feel the need to explain yourself, when you put all of your energy into self-improvement rather than self-promotion, people start to notice. Not because you told them to, but because your results speak for themselves. And the best part, by the time they realize what you've been doing, it's already too late for them to doubt you. That's how you shock everyone, by becoming so focused on your own growth that your transformation becomes undeniable.